Tech debt. Hi guys, my name is Manish Kumar, and in today's session we will talk about how should we handle tech debt. And this is not like more theoretical kind of session. I'm just sharing it what works for me based upon my experience. I would love to know about your experience, learning, and what new thing you did. So first thing here comes in, we need to define the right process and tools for it. So first is like define repository. So we need to make sure we have a repository in place, and repository like it could be just like a SharePoint list if you guys are using SharePoint list, or it could be Jira, whatever like you don't need to invent anything new. This is a repository where like you are logging all the tech debt items coming from the team, and they are just like getting here. It's kind of a backlog. And then second is define process for prioritization. Something like highly impacted items are critical, or like high, medium, low. You need to define the process. And then set goals. What does it mean? So for tech debt items, we need to make sure that our goals are defined earlier in the phase. And when I say goals is like we have to target our critical items should be zero. We should not have a lot of like critical items where like our, I'm just taking an example, like our entire user base is getting like affected because our login screen is slow by 20% or like 30% due to this item. So these kind of like the critical items should be targeted to zero, and we can define something like goals for high, mediums, and lows kind of thing. So the question comes, who will create items into the repository? And for tech debt, it's majorly your team. That's how I generally differentiate the tech debt and the big impacted feature coming from the business. They are like almost same. There is no difference. They are like adding value into the system, adding value for the organization. Only difference is the source. The business or like the high impacted or new features, those majorly comes from the business, customers driven, and the tech debt items, most of the tech debt items comes from the team. So your team should have all necessary access, and they should be able to log item into tech debt repository. And you define a guideline definitely here, like when you log an item, what all different information or what all different fields you need to fill in. Because if like someone else reading the item, he should clearly able to understand what are you are talking here, what kind of improvement you are suggesting, what you notice. Yeah, like put little detail, or if like you think that may helpful, you can put the class names and things like that also. Like for example, this class is like have this piece of code that need to be refactored, and it should go here, and this loop need to be taken out. That will improve our performance if the data amount is this much by this much. Put more detail, whatever you have. And the guideline should not be like a strict guideline, because in that case sometimes they may be like, oh, I don't have too much detail, so I cannot log item. So team should be able to log item into this repository. They should have necessary access in place on the repository. There is a guideline which is helping them that what information they are supposed to log in it. Like something like where if they log something and someone else read, they can easily understand it. And it should be very simple. If you find something, if you see something where the improvement is possible, log it. Don't just like think and like leave it at other place. Bring it onto the table. People are there, you brainstorm, discuss, and later it may be like low priority item, that's okay. But don't just hold it out, log the item there. So basically the leadership role here is to motivate team to log item into your repository. So now you have the process defined, you have the repository, team is logging items. So on the process, one item which also I want to bring here is that make sure your business leader, stakeholders are on board with it. That's the key thing. Once you decide a process, you do it, your all stakeholders should be aware about it. And it's not a surprise for anyone. There is like, why are you putting your 10% of the team on this work? From where this repository came up? Who is like logging these items? They should understand the value of this. They should understand the process, and they should clearly know or have an idea about what is your goal behind it, what you want to do there, how it will add value for them. So now your repository has the items, team started logging it. Now the next item comes here is recurring meeting. You bring the right set of people in a room, It could be your technical lead, it could be your solution architect and the senior developer, or the person. Definitely I think that person who logged in should be in that room, because he can share more insight, right set of knowledge into the room, who can make the decision further. And the goal of this meeting is to understand the impact of it. If we will not do it, just for an example, if we will not do it, our development cost for this particular layer in the code will get increased by 20%, and that will continuously be increasing over time. If we will not do it, our software particular screen will start having the performance issues, and this many number of customers will be impacted due to that. So understand the impact, what will happen if we will not do it. Then second goal is like cost involved in it. So as we know, nothing comes for free. If you will do it, you will put some development team on it, testing team on it, and that's the cost involved in it. So you need to put certain, like, and this could be like just a t-shirt sizing, small, medium, large, extra large, whatever better for your project. Just pick them, define them. Like for example, small, if your project is small, it could be like, 5K to 10K or something. If it is like a huge project, large project, where even a small change takes like lot cost, it may cost to 50K, 100K, depending upon whatever your project is. But there has to be a range defined. It should not be very specific that they need to come up like, okay, it will take 3 sprints for 2 people. No, they need to just tell that it is small item, high, medium, like just t-shirt sizing estimates. And then third is benefit. What the benefit we will get from it, which is kind of a result of when you were working on understanding the impact. So you will tell that if we do it, our logging screen performance will get improved by 10%. If we do it, our development cost will get reduced by this percentage, or our incoming defect ratio will get reduced by this percentage. So benefit in terms of data, not the theory. Like if you will say like, I'm doing this tag that item, I'm improving in my code will be cleaner. I'm telling you, no one gonna put cost on it. The data oriented, which is majorly like in terms of benefit for customers, benefit for organization, and if you can bring in terms of dollar, awesome, amazing. Because once you do this meeting and take this data to further group to business, anyone, those are like non-technical people. This is the last point where you are dealing. You can talk about code, you can understand the code, you know what refactoring you are talking here after this point. So whatever data you are putting here should be easy to understand for non-technical people. That's kind of like the most important part of this meeting out there. So you fill up all the information along with each items you brainstorm here. Now you take this data to the business. So what I do is, like, I have this backlog prioritized based upon low cost, high benefit. So that's how generally I do it for my project. So I see like, okay, team has these items and these 3 items are like, okay, you invest a penny, you get $1 million. So that's the best deal. Let's go and do it. So I generally like use this. Once team fill all the data, whatever items has like the least cost and the higher benefit, I always take them on the priority and bring this prioritized backlog to the business, where it's your job to explain it to the business that if this is an item what we want to do, and the benefit of this will be the feature you are asking, or the recently we did these 3 features, their cost will get reduced by 20% because we were doing a lot of redundancy of the code in those features. Or just tell them more into the language where they can easily understand. And the best thing is the dollar language. Like they understand, everyone understand that language after this point. Once the development team move out, dollar language is the best language. So if you will say like your cost will get reduced by 10%, they know it now, and it will be easy for them to convince, and they understand the benefit of it, and you will get approval quickly for it. And they understand that how much important work team is doing here. And if, because that is the key part, if the business thinking like, oh, there is certain tech that items these guys are doing, they write some piece of code and now they are improving it, it's not a benefit for us. That's the point where the problems start happening. So here, this meeting job, when you are talking to the business, that entire thing need to be resolved out. This is something which we are improving our software over time, making sure that the development cost is under control, our software performance is under control, and the features you want us to build up are getting out on time with least issues. And once they know it, they understand the value of it, and they always like, talk about them. Then say like, okay, before this feature, I think if you will do it, it will give me benefit here. So Now you have a prioritized backlog discussed with all your stakeholders, your team know about it, and you have a roadmap for it ready. So roadmap, why roadmap is needed? Roadmap is needed because in the first step we have a goal decided where we said like our critical item should be zero. But when we say critical item should be zero, does it mean you deploy all 20 people or 100 people into the team and like get all of them done? No way, that is not possible. You will take a certain percentage of team for it, maybe 8%, 10%, and you will be picking like that percentage and making a roadmap how you will take your, what is your plan to take your critical items to zero. You will pick maybe first item, two items in this pie, next items in next pie, and all so you break it down on your roadmap, you show it as a milestone, and you keep adjusting it. It is not different from your roadmap for the big impacted features coming from business. It is same thing. So you explain it, you put it on the roadmap, you share it with the team, and you share it with the stakeholder. So now you are ready. So next item here, which is most important thing comes, and I want to explicitly take it here, is like team motivation. So what happens when you have tech debt items and big impacted items? If your team is not motivated, your team will, everyone in your team will love to work on big impacted items coming from business. So your team motivation to pick these tech debt items is very important. Set the vision. That is key thing in every step in the leadership. Setting the right vision, providing the right information, telling them that what is, how much value this work is adding into the organization, into the business, into the software or for customers. Most important thing is you also should be convinced before team. Most of the time I see that engineering managers making some reports and sharing some progress data or things, they are like showing this is our one first big impacted item, second, and then in bottom there is a list like saying that these are some tag debt items, we talk about it and we are working on it. That's the wrong approach. You are demotivating people who are working on that part. Rather going in this way, I will suggest go other way. Pick the tech debt items at the top because that are actually adding value. They are reducing your overall cost of development or directly giving benefit to your customers. Explain them first, show the progress about it, and then come to the big impacted items business is bringing for the team. That will be the way where team will feel motivated, they will feel valued that they are adding, and they will be more like excited to pick these items. And like keep it rotating. Like it should not be like, okay, junior is coming in the team, they will just pick the tech that item. That is also again like you yourself is not more like convinced that these are really needed. If that's the case, stop putting any money on that. So you should have this something like depending upon your team structure what best suit for you. But my experience is like have it rotating. A particular group should not pick it, like juniors should not pick it. It should be rotating. Everyone should get opportunity to pick these items, and they should understand the value of it. They should feel it that yes, this is really important on all your information radiator, on all your progress reports, every platform you are bringing it up, you are talking about it, and you are showcasing that how much value team is adding to that. So yeah guys, that is simplified way and step by step I try to put. I know I have not touched entire branch, this is a very big thing, but I just tried to summarize and took some key things into this video. And as I said, please share your experience in the comments, what works for you, what not, and please subscribe my channel if it is not done so far. That is very important. And thank you so much guys, and see you in the next session.